Alrighty, guys, it's part two. Yeah, so I'm gonna keep saying this, guys. I know all you people or all you guys around the world who are gonna be excited for my movie. Obviously, I know you guys are all gonna put money into theaters. I recommend you guys don't go over budget, man. If you make 50K a year, 40K a year, and you can afford a $1,500 pay theater system, buy it obviously. But don't be stupid and get like a $10,000 one, a $7,000 one. I'm saying. Otherwise, yeah. Ivan, are you saying people who make 50K a year can't afford? If you make 50K a year, you can afford to get a $10,000 one, but it's going to affect your budget. You're gonna have like no money for yourself because you're paying all these high monthly bills. You're gonna be broke. It's gonna drain your money, man. As technically speaking, they can't afford it. Stay in your lane. If you're middle class and you make 40, 50, 60, 70K a year, 80K a year, or you're upper class and you make your 90, 100K a year, you make 100K a year, you can afford a $10,000 payment system. If you make 70, 80, 60, 50K a year, you cannot afford a $10,000 payment system. And if you do, it's going to affect your budget, your budgeting obviously. You know what I'm saying? As most people around the world, after they paid their bills, they only have a couple $100 for themselves to spend. Maybe a nice 200, 250, $300 for themselves to spend. You see what I'm saying? There's nothing worse than more than half of that money going towards paying your credit card bills for your fucking theater system, that your expensive theater system that you bought. Yes. It's like, even though I recommend you guys get a theater system, I don't want you guys to be stupid and go in debt, man. I want this one. I want this $10,000 one. You know what I'm saying, because there's some people who are crazy. They spend way over budget and they end up going in debt. And they're fucking crazy. There's some people who make 50K a year. They buy BMWs. They buy $60,000 BMWs, obviously, and they're what? That BMW is draining their fucking money because they have to make all these expensive, hefty payments for their BMW. If you make 50K a year, a $60,000 BMW is you're going over budget. As people who make 50K a year should be getting like $20,000 cars, cheaper cars like Hondas, Toyotas, and Mazdas, those kind of cars. But Benzes and BMWs are for the rich. That's for the upper class who makes like 90 plus 100K a year to get your Benz. You know what I'm saying? But I told you, because most people in this world some people in this world are crazy. They go over budget and they get nice things for themselves, and they end up what they end up being stressed out paying their fucking car bills, their car monthly bills. Yeah, because they're stupid with their money, obviously. Like, guys, you're not me, VJ. You don't have the keys. You can't. You did not make your billions like me. You're not Peter Jackson. You're not my 17. You're not the Hollywood actors. You're not the celebrities. You're not part of the upper class who make like their 100, 200, 300, 400, $5,000 a year. You know what I'm saying? You're not part of the 1% or the upper class. If you're not part of the 1% or the upper class, don't even think about spending 10, 15, 20 grand into a theater system. Otherwise, if you do, you're gonna go in like if you want to get it, you can get it, but you're gonna end up going in debt. And you're gonna drown yourself in debt, and you're gonna have to pay all these hefty monthly. There's nothing worse than have to pay off a fucking $10,000 loan, man. A $10,000 credit that you spent on your visa. No, man. Like, be smart. If you make 50K a year, get a nice 2,500, 3,000, $3,500 theater system. Don't get a $10,000 theater system. If you want, look, man. If you got, to all you people out there who are crazy, you know what I'm saying. I want this one. I'm saying, to all you people out there who are crazy, I know you. To all you men out there, if you're whipped, obviously, if you're one of those men who's whipped, obviously, and your wife says, I want to get this $10,000 one, I recommend you don't listen to your wife. I recommend you get a cheaper one. Yeah, honey, we can't afford this. Yeah, but I want this one. This one's better. This is a $10,000 one. I want this one, honey. We can't. If we buy this one, we're gonna have to pay off this $10,000 credit on our visa. Yes, you're gonna have to pay off $10,000 credit on visa. We're gonna be stressed out. This is gonna affect our budget, honey. Let's get a cheaper 300. Yeah, but I don't want to get this 300. I want to get the $10,000 one. You know what I'm saying, and you end up buying a $10,000 theater system, and now you're stressed out because now even though you're making now the couple $100 that you have, half of that's going towards paying off your visa. I don't know. You have $300 for yourself to spend, and a good like 100, 125 of that's going towards paying off your minimum visa monthly bill. You have to pay this off. You have to pay a minimum of $100 a month for your visa. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, and you're not now you're stressed out, and now you only have like 180 for yourself to spend, which isn't that great. You know what I'm saying? You need to have at least a good, if you want to make a good living, you need to at least have a good like $300 for yourself to spend after you paid your bills. If you have a good $300 for yourself after you pay your bills, that's pretty good money. You can do good things with that money. You can go to the bar, take your family out to dinner. You can see a movie on theaters. You can go to an event. Yeah. Whereas if you have a good like $100 for yourself, you're surviving. Obviously, you're not making a good living, but you're surviving. You're surviving. See what I'm saying? So if you make 30K a year and you live in an apartment, chances are that guy has a good maybe, I don't know, maybe 150 for himself after he paid his car payments and his bills. 30K is shit. You need to at least be making like 50K to be pretty good, man. Even 40K is shit. 40K a year isn't that great. If you want to make a good, if you want to make a decent living, you got to make at least 50K a year. 50 plus. If you make 50 plus K a year, you're making pretty good money for yourself. That's about 1,600 every 2 weeks around there. And so if you're paying your I don't know your $1,200 a month mortgage, and you're making 1,600 every 2 weeks, and you pay I don't know you pay a good $700 for your car, another like $80 for your phone, and you pay maybe 300 on food. You have at least a couple hundred, I don't know, good $400 for yourself after you pay your bills. $400, I don't know, 200, $300 for yourself after each paycheck, after you pay your bills. You're making a living for yourself, see what I'm saying? Yeah. But you guys are not me. Don't hate me. You're not the son of God. You don't have the keys like me. And you cannot make your easy billions like me, obviously. You're not me and VJ. Yes, me and VJ can easily put money into a theater, an IMAX theater system. You guys cannot afford that. And to be smart, stay in your fucking lane, guys. I'm gonna give you this warning. As I don't want you guys to go to drown yourself in debt because I told you to look, this is my advice. If you're thinking of getting a $10,000 theater system, I recommend you don't even get a theater system. I recommend just watch the movie with your nice TV. That way you don't go in debt. Because I don't want you guys to follow my advice. I don't want the fucking many people around the world to follow my advice and they end up getting like $10,000 theater systems. Stay in your lane. If you make 50, 60, 70K a year, get a good $2,500, $3,000 theater system. That way you can pay it off pretty quickly. Pay that off in a good like 3 years. $1,200 is nothing. You can easily pay that off in like 3, 4 years. Whereas 10 grand's a lot of money. That's gonna take you a long time to pay off, man. At least 6, 7 years, 7, 8 years of your life to pay off, and you're gonna be stressed out paying it off. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Yeah. Obviously. Yeah, guaranteed Peter Jackson's gonna put money into his private IMAX. He's gonna copy me, you know what I'm saying? I don't know, when I invite Peter over to my condo and Peter Jackson sees my private IMAX here, guaranteed Peter Jackson he might what? Guaranteed Peter Jackson he might be shocked. Holy shit, Ivan, this is your home theater? I'm like, yeah, this is fucking nice. You have Dolby speakers, Ivan. You have your nice slide screen. You have what kind of projector is this, Ivan? This is IMAX. IMAX. This must have cost you a lot of money. Yeah, Joe. Yeah, Peter. Yeah, Peter. It cost me like $2 million. It cost me a couple $1 million. Like holy shit, this is nice, Ivan. I was like, yeah, Peter. I recommend you put money into a private IMAX theater, Peter. You know what I'm saying, Peter. I recommend you do that. You know what I'm saying? Peter's like, yeah, Ivan, I'll do that. I'm saying, and he puts like $2 million, $1 million into a nice private IMAX theater at home. That way he gets a nice theatrical experience for my movie. Yeah, and Jon Favreau and Nick Filoni are guaranteed going to do that. Guaranteed to do that too. But chances are Jon Favreau and Nick Filoni will probably maybe put like money into a cheaper one. They might maybe put maybe 500 grand, a cheaper $500,000 home IMAX theater room. Whereas me and VJ are gonna get the best IMAX theater. We're gonna put a good like $2 million towards it, pimp it out completely. Whereas Jon Favreau and Nick Filoni might put maybe 500 grand towards it. That's more affordable for them because they're not as rich as me and VJ. Me and VJ are billionaires. We can easily put $2 million towards our home private IMAX theater room. Whereas Jon Favreau and Nick Filoni will probably put maybe 500K towards it, 800K, maybe $1 million. Jon Favreau can probably put $1 million towards it. The guy already has money. He has tens of millions in his bank. He might put money into $2 million private IMAX, but chances are he might put maybe $1 million. And Dave Filoni maybe puts 400,000, 500,000 into a private IMAX home theater room. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm gonna build a private IMAX home theater in my basement downstairs. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna have my nice slide, my nice projector, and my nice speakers. Buy my nice 4K Blu-ray player and my HDMI, connect it to the projector, and I watch your movies. Yeah, yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And all you guys in Hollywood who are B-list actors, those guys are probably going to put a good 8, 10 grand into a theater system, 10, 15 grand, because they can afford it. Whereas the A-list actors can easily put money into a private IMAX theater. They can afford it. You have 10, 15 million, 20, 30, 40, 50, 100, 150 million in your bank. Easy put a good 500 grand to a theater system. Whereas the biggest actors, the rising stars, that they can't afford that. That's a big cut on their budget. But they can put a good 10 grand, 12 grand to a nice theater system in their house or part in their house. You know what I'm saying here? And the upper class people can all put a good 8, 7 plus thousand into a theater system. 7, 8, 9, 10,000 into a nice theater system. Nice big screen TV and nice like high end speakers. Or they can put money into a projector. 12 grand, they put money into a nice projector like Neil Toose's theater system right in his house. A nice projector and a nice slide screen. But I told you, if you want to do that, if you want to have that theater system like Neil Toose's house, you need to be an upper class person to afford that. As that's expensive. That's high tech. That probably costs him a good 15, 20 grand to do. Perhaps even 30 grand around there costs him. It's not going to be as nice as me and VJ. Don't hate me, Neil Toos. It's not going to be as nice as me and VJ's private IMAX theater, but to have a home theater like that is expensive. You need to be someone who's rich, who's making his like 100,000, 200, 300, 400, 500,000 plus a year. Either be a celebrity or be a part of the upper class. You want to afford a theater system like that. You know what I'm saying? You have to be making some good money for yourself. If you're only making $50K a year, don't be stupid and get like a $25,000 theater system. No. Otherwise, you're going to drown yourself in debt. You have to pay off that debt. There's nothing worse than paying off $20,000 in debt and $20,000 in your visa. No. Be smart. You know what I'm saying? Be smart. You're not me, VJ. Don't hate me. You can't afford to put money into that kind of theater system. Stay in your fucking lane. I'm gonna keep saying that. Stay in your lane, world. I don't want you guys to be going in debt because of me. There's nothing worse than me telling the world to get a theater system, and a lot of people go in debt because they want to get a better theater system. No, stay in your lane. If you make 50, 60K a year, get a cheaper home system that's in your budget range. Don't go over budget and be stupid where you got to pay all these hefty monthly fees for your credit card, and you're stressed out because you have to pay off this $10,000 credit that you spent on your fucking visa. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. Now let's talk contracts as usual. So my deal for Mel Gibson is I'll pay him $56 million. I'll pay him $56 million for the role of the director, obviously, co-writer and producer, and I'll give him 0.5% of the profits. 0.5% of the profits I will give Mel Gibson. And if his agent wants more, I'm not paying Mel Gibson any more than 0.5%. That's good enough. If he doesn't like it, he's more than welcome to work in Hollywood and be a dirty slave and make less money. He was like my offer. I have an instant deal, yes. And he doesn't get a dime off the merch. He gets his $2,000 gift card, his $700 gas card, and his $60,000 worth of commercial money. And he gets 0.5% of the film profits, not the gross sales. He gets 0.5% of the film profits of me and VJ, of SkySource film profits. I'm gonna write down the contract SkySource film profits. If you just say profits, his agent might think Peter Jackson will give for getting 0.6, 0.5% of the total profits. No, like Amazon will not let Peter Jackson them touch their money. No. They get 0.5% of the profit that me and VJ made. Just say 0.6%, 0.5% of SkySource film profits. That way, Peter Jackson them know they get 0.6% of the 72% me and VJ made. Seems like here. As if you just do profits in general, they might think they get 0.6% of the full profits, including Amazon's. No, they don't touch Amazon's profits. Amazon will not agree to that. Yeah, I don't want these actors touching my money, man. Like, if you want, Amazon tell me, if you want to pay the actors, give the actors a piece of royalties, you have to take it out of your share. Like, they're not touching any of our money. Yeah, Amazon will not let the actors touch any of their money because they're greedy animals. You know what I'm saying? They're not gonna. Jeff Bezos will not let all the actors take a piece of his money, man. He's not gonna, because he's greedy, obviously. He's like, Ivan, if you want to give the actors a piece of profits, you have to take it out of your share. You know what I'm saying? You're not taking it out of ours. Yeah, I'll take it out of my share. I'm not gonna let them take the money off your share. You know what I'm saying? And for Peter Jackson, I'll pay him $85 million, which is $106 million in New Zealand money. $2,000 gift card, $3,500 gas card, $60,000 worth of commercial money, the perks, and you give him $2 million release. Mel Gibson gets $2 million release too, and you give Peter 0.6% of the profits of the film profits of Sky Source film profits. Mel Gibson signed like his 300. I don't know. Mel Gibson signed 0.5% is about, I don't know, it's probably about $70 million around there. So Mel Gibson signed like his three $30 million deals, $40 million deal around there, Mel Gibson. Whereas Peter Jackson signed like his 400, 450, even $500 million deal. 450 probably around there he signed, Peter Jackson. He'll make a good about $350 million royalties for the movie, and excluding his $85 million salary, which is like $106 million New Zealand money. So Peter Jackson signed like his $450 million deal. It's almost double the amount of money he made for fucking what? He might even make 500. He might even make 400 million royalties, Peter Jackson. It just depends how much my movie does. He might even make even 400 million royalties with his $100 million salary and bonuses. And he signed like his 450, even $500 million deal, Peter Jackson. A massive contract. And Mel Gibson signed probably about that $350 million range, Mel Gibson. $350 million, Mel Gibson. Mel Gibson signed a massive deal too, but it's not as big as Peter Jackson's deal. Obviously. And if Peter Jackson gets greedy and he wants like 1%, I'm like, Peter, you're getting greedy. I'm not going to give you 1%. You're fucking crazy. I'm not going to give you 1%. Because Peter Jackson, the fact that Peter Jackson made like $250 million off Lord of the Rings, he didn't even give any of the actors like a piece of his money. Like a nice woman. I would have given all Lord of the Rings actors $1 million. If I make $200 million, give all the main like 8 actors like $1 million each of my money. And Peter Jackson didn't even do that. He took all the money. Yeah, I'm not giving Lord of the Rings actors shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I took all the money to myself. Yeah, because you're greedy, Peter. You know what I'm saying? Peter's a greedy animal. You gotta be careful. Do not let Peter Jackson dupe you. Obviously, do not let Mel Gibson dupe you. They're greedy sharks. Yeah, even though $350 million, I don't know, even though $350 million is a lot of money, I know you're gonna make your tens of billions. I want a nice like $900, $700 million of that, man, because he's greedy. I want like a nice $600, $700 million of that money, man. 350 feels a bit too small for me. When in reality, it's a lot of money. You're walking away with what? If Peter Jackson makes $450 million for my movie, you know what I'm saying? He's walking away with what? Like a $220 million, $30 million check in his bank after taxes and his agent. You made your $200+ million after taxes, Peter. That's a lot. It's a lot of money, Ivan, but the amount of money I'm making compared to you and VJ is fucking chump change. Yes, because me and VJ are God. We're much bigger than you, Peter, and you're not worth my fucking royalties. You're not worth taking any more than like $400 of my money, Peter. If you think I'm gonna let you take like $600, $700, $800, $900 million, Peter, you're fucking crazy. As you would never give me that, Ivan, I would never give you that kind of money. I'd probably pay you like $50 million as a director. Yes. If you were in my shoes, Peter, you'd probably only pay me like maybe $18 million, a flat $18 million for my movie, and that's it. For your movie, and that's it. Yeah, and I'd pay you like only $20 million. And I'd pay all the Zane's actors are like $2-3 million. I'm fucking cheap, yes. You know, I'm paying all the actors are rich millions, giving them a piece of profits. I'm nice enough to give you a good $350 to even $400 million in royalties of my money, Peter. But that's it. I'm not gonna give you like $600, $700 million in my in royalties. You're fucking crazy. Because if you give Peter 1%, he's gonna make like $650, even $700 million in royalties. Something crazy, man. He's gonna make a lot of money. 800 million royalties around there, yeah. The moment you give Peter $800 million of your money, he's ripping you off, and you're being way too generous, as he's not worth that. Like, keep Peter around that 350, 330, 380, $400 million range for the royalties. Don't go any higher than that. Ivan, what about the merch? You know what I'm saying? You're going to get Peter a piece of that. I'm like, no, I'm not giving Peter a piece of the merch. He's not my fucking star. He's not the star of my fucking movie. He's not my co-star, man. He's my star director, hence why I'm giving him a big piece of the profits. I'm not giving him a dime off the merch. He's not worth it. He's not featured on what? He's not featured on the posters and mugs, hence why I'm not giving him a piece of the merch. No, but if you're giving your actors a piece of merch, yes, the actors are my stars. They're the advertising on my movie. Peter Jackson's not the advertising on my movie. He's my star director, but he's behind the scenes. You know what I'm saying? Even though I'm giving the actors $250K for the royalty check, obviously, even though I'm giving the actors $250K for the royalty checks, it's nothing about how much I'm paying Peter Jackson. Peter Jackson's making his hundreds of millions off my movie, man. These actors are not making that kind of money. If Viggo Mortensen shows and he's only making is like 20, 19, $18 million, $18 for my movie, it's peanuts compared to how much Peter Jackson's making. Carl Urban is only making like his, I don't know, his 9 million. A lot of money, but it's nothing compared to how much Peter Jackson's making. John Boyega is only making his like 13, $14 million. That's nothing compared to how much Peter Jackson's making. Avon Joji is only making his what? He's only making his like $8, $9 million. That's nothing compared to how much Peter Jackson's making. Yeah. Like Peter's making, I'm gonna tell his agent, look, Peter is making way more than the fucking all the actors. He's even making way more than even Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni, man. As Jon Favreau's only gonna make a good like 70, 80, 90, $100 million in royalties around there. 110 million in royalties. I don't know, 110 million he'll make in royalties. A lot of money, but it's nothing compared to how much Peter Jackson. Peter Jackson's making double what John's making, man. Triple what John's making. Yeah, he's gonna make probably about 350, even $400 million in royalties. Jon Favreau was only making like 100 million royalties. And Dave Filoni's only making like 45, 40, 50 million royalties. Yeah, Peter Jackson's making way more than even all the members of my 17. Because he's really, really big, obviously. Do not let Peter... Yeah, even what about a flat 20 million? Peter Jackson gets a flat 20 million. Instead of giving him a piece of the profits, you give Peter a nice flat like $30 million for the merch sales. I'm like, no, I'm not giving Peter squat off the merch. I'm already paying him more than enough money. Peter, you're getting greedy. I know that feeling. You're getting greedy. You smell blood in the water. You want to make as much money as you can. I'm not going to do like that. I'm already paying you enough money. I'm not giving you squat off the merch. I'm going to keep saying that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And because I paid Peter a lot of money, he'll work his ass off for me. He will destroy the role as a director for Zayas. Even he'll work much harder for me than what he even did for Lord of the Rings. Because for Lord of the Rings, he was a dirty slave. Don't forget that. You have to pay a price, obviously, and he only made, I heard, like $10 million for the three movies. And he negotiated for a piece of the film gross. My guess is Peter Jackson negotiated. Lord of the Rings did $3 billion, and Peter Jackson made $250 million. So my guess is he negotiated for a good like 9% of the gross sales. Peter Jackson didn't negotiate for the profits. No way, because what? He made $250 million, so he must have negotiated for a piece of the sales. Like, a good 9% of the sales around there, Peter Jackson negotiated for. 9% of the sales, and he struck it. That's what his... Lord of the Rings is what made Peter Jackson wealthy. He made like $250 million off Lord of the Rings. And that's how Peter became an A-list director, obviously. That's the journey of Peter Jackson becoming an A-list director. And now because Peter Jackson's used to making that kind of money in Hollywood, he made $250 million off Lord of the Rings. He probably made like $150 million off The Hobbit. Around there, and he probably made his nice like $30 million off King Kong and Mortal Engines. He's used to getting paid a lot of money. He's greedy, obviously. Guaranteed Peter will even try and get more money. He'll try and even push for maybe even 1%. I'm like, Peter, you're getting greedy. I'm not going to give you 1%. You know what I'm saying? I know that feeling. You're getting greedy. I'm not. Yeah, Ivan, you're greedy too. You're taking all those tens of billions. You know what I'm saying? Yes, and I'm giving you a nice fucking piece of the profits. Yeah, you're giving me a nice piece of profits, Ivan, but it's not enough. Like, I'm fucking greedy. I want more, man. I want a nice, like, $700 million of that. Like, Peter, you're not worth $700 million of my money, man. I'm the main show. You're not the main show. You'll build buzz, obviously, because you're a big directed by Peter Jackson. You'll build buzz, obviously. But at the end of the day, the whole world's going crazy because they want to see me and VJ. It's not because of him. You know what I'm saying? Hence why, because you're a big director, Peter, and you're going to be the boss of my movie, I'll pay you a rich paycheck, obviously. But I'm not going to let you dupe me and have you make, like, $800 million of my money. No. You're going to make your nice $500, $450, $400 million for my movie. That's good enough, Peter. You're getting greedy. You know what I'm saying? Ivan, it's a deal. You know what I'm saying? His agent will do Peter Jackson's agent he or she will do their very best to make more money for themselves, obviously, for Peter. I'm not going to let them do my like, guys, I'm not going to do him like that. I'm not paying Peter any more than how much I want to pay him. Peter Jackson's agent might try and push for a higher salary. Yeah, Ivan, what about $120 million for Peter? I'm like, no, I'm not paying him $120 million. $85 million is good enough. It's $106 million in what? That's $106 million in New Zealand money. I'm like, Peter's already making his $100 million. In the New Zealand money, he's making is like $106 million. He's going to walk away with like a $58 million check in his bank, Peter, after taxes. And his agent for the 4 years of Zayn. It's a fat check in the bank. That's more than what he made for probably King Kong and Mortal Engines King Kong. He probably only made like $25 million, Peter. Around there. $30 million for the fucking movie. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. You know, I have an $85 million is a good deal. Peter doesn't even make that. Peter doesn't make $85 million for his salary. He probably makes like maybe $30 million for his salary in Hollywood, and he negotiates for a good chunk of the profits. The actors in Hollywood don't make $85 million for their salaries, man. No, like Hollywood can't afford that. Chances are they make around like the big ones make like 20, 25, 30, 15 million. 10 million they make. And then they can negotiate for a piece of the profits. A nice 30, $40 million of the profits, $25 million of the profits. You see what I'm saying? $85 million, Peter, is good enough. Yeah, but Ivan, like, why don't you just pay me more? Like, you can easily afford it. You're gonna make your money back. I'm like, yes, Peter, I'm not gonna do it like that. I'm already giving you a nice, like, $350 million of the royalties, $400 of royalties. I'm not gonna pay you, like, $200 for your salary. No. Like, $85 million is good enough, Peter. You're getting greedy. You're getting greedy. $85 million is 106 million American money. That's good enough, Peter. I'm not paying you any more money. You're getting greedy, Peter. Like, it's good enough. You don't even make this in Hollywood. I don't make this in Hollywood. Yes, it's a deal, Ivan. Yeah, it's a good deal. I gave you a good deal. And you get the perks. So while Peter Jackson will be working, while pre-production takes place the first year, and me and Peter Jackson and Guillermo del Toro and all them, we discussed the movie and the concert arts, the characters, the lands. Obviously, we do the board meetings. We discuss the lands, the characters, the release. Okay, we're distributing it on Amazon on 4K Blu-ray. I want it in 3 separate volumes, not one story told in 3 separate volumes like Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings trilogy. You have to tell people that the way he knows. He's staying in a fucking suite for 1 year with Guillermo del Toro and Fran and Barry Osborne and what? Barry Osborne and all of them. He'll work hard for me, obviously. He'll work really hard for me, obviously. I'm giving him a good deal. I'm paying a lot of money, Peter. At the same time, I'm giving you what? Nice perks. You're going to be staying in the nicest suites in Vancouver. A nice $1,500 to $1,000 nice suite in a luxury hotel in Vancouver. By the time I 17, find some of the best luxury hotels in Vancouver and book the best suites. I can easily afford the best suites for Peter because suites in the best suites in Vancouver are not expensive. They're only like $900, $1,000 a day. Easy have Peter and them stay in the nicest suites with a jacuzzi and a nice view for a good year. As Peter will work harder for me, obviously. Will work harder for me because he's staying in fucking suites. The doc team's filming him. I gave him a $10 million sign bonus, which is a nice paycheck for fucking pre-production. 3 years of pre-production. That's a good deal. Yeah, Peter, $10 million in Canadian money is like 13 million New Zealand money. And Peter's is after tax is gonna make like have a nice like $6.8 million check in his bank. For the 3 years of pre-production, he'll work hard. He got millions in his bank. For all he has to do is just co-write the script with me, do the concept arts with me, take his notes with Guillermo del Toro. Obviously, we have to go over the script like at least 2 more times. The whole for when we finish writing the script, obviously, and he consults with the 7 team a little bit, and that's it. That's all Peter Jackson has to do, and help me with the main like 7 business goals. Okay, Peter, I want you to help me. Okay, Ivan, what do you need help? Okay, I want you helping me book the Virgin Dark Resort, the hotel party. Okay, Ivan, what are you thinking of for your red carpet? Yeah, I want to do a red carpet at the Virgin Dark Resort. Oh, you want to do the red carpet at Luxury Hotel? Oh, Ivan, that's cool. Hollywood doesn't do this. Hollywood do it in like some fucking building. We do it in some building. No, Peter, I want to do the red carpet in Luxury Hotel. Ivan, like, is this like a small red carpet or a big one? No, Peter, a big one. Like you have carpets that stretch out like on the streets, like your Lord of the Rings, like something like your Lord of the Rings red carpet, Peter. Ivan, looking at an amazing red carpet for that, Ivan. You know, I'm saying Peter's all excited, and I'm saying, Ivan, what hotel are you thinking of? Yeah, Peter, I'm thinking of the Virgin Dark Resort in Lake Lucerne, Switzerland. Oh, you want to do your red carpet in Switzerland, Ivan? You know what I'm saying? Switzerland, yeah, I want to do all my red carpets where I film my movie, on my filming location. Where I film my movies. I want to do it in Switzerland. In Lake Lucerne, Switzerland. And Peter Jackson already knows. He saw my videos, obviously. Ivan, that's nice. You know what I'm saying? Ivan, how much are you willing to pay them? Yeah, I'll pay them a good $10 million for 2 days. Okay, Ivan, what are you thinking of? What's your idea? Okay, I want to do a two-day luxury hotel party at the Virgin Dark Resort. A 2-day luxury hotel party? Yeah, Peter, all you can drink alcohol. What time do you want the party to start, Ivan? I want the party to start at 7. I want the party to start at 7 and end at end at 1 o'clock. Oh, really, Ivan? Yeah, I want the party to start at 7 and end at 1 o'clock. And the red carpet event, I can do it the second day, or I can do it the first day. What do you think, Peter? I know, I think you should do the red carpet the first day. You know what I'm saying? You get it over with, and you party up for the remaining 2 days. I think that's better, yeah. Ivan, you're gonna have to hire like security guards. You're gonna have to hire. You're gonna have to what? You're gonna have to what? You're gonna need billboards where all the actors are featured. You're gonna need the background, the Skyscraper's background, the Amazon. I mean, that all costs money. Yeah, it's 10 million up here. Ivan, that's more than enough. Yeah, Ivan, I'm more than happy to help you with that. You know what I'm saying? Ivan, you're like, oh, you can drink alcohol. I'm like, in Hollywood, we have to pay for our alcohol. You know what I'm saying? Whereas you're giving them free alcohol, all you can drink. I'm like, yeah, Peter, all you can drink alcohol, and you're having it in this hotel. I show him the pictures. Peter's shocked. He's like, holy shit! And you're having a luxury hotel party here. This is a nice hotel, Ivan. This is luxury. You want to? Yeah, Peter. Like Ivan, like, are you thinking of what kind of party are you thinking of? Like a wild party or a more conservative party where everyone has suits and they drink and hang out? No, I want a wild party, Peter. Everyone is in their street clothes and you got DJs and there's a party inside and out. Ivan, you're looking at an amazing party for that. Like inside and out, Ivan, like in the pool area, the jacuzzi. Yeah, people can hang around the outside pool area and have a drink. They can hang around the pool area and have a drink. People are outside. You know what I'm saying? It's a massive wild party. Ivan, look at something amazing for that. Yeah, I mean, I'm more than happy to help you with that. You know what I'm saying? And Peter helps me with those calls, obviously. And I'll have Barry Osborne and Fran help out the 17 with the business calls, as well as Guillermo del Toro. Hence why 7 people is more than enough. I don't need to hire assistants because I'll just have my assistant producers help them. Have Barry Osborne help out my 17, and Fran, Peter's wife, help out. Help him out. Pay Barry Osborne a good. Pay him a nice $750,000. That's a good paycheck for him. And you pay Fran $750,000 for the term of the movie. That's good. They don't get squat. They don't get a piece of the royalty. If Barry gets greedy, I'm like, Barry, I'm not giving you a piece of the royalties. I'm already giving more than enough people a piece of the royalties. You're my assistant producer. I'm not going to give you a piece of the royalties. You're not worth it. Yeah, but you're giving Guillermo del Toro. Yeah, Guillermo del Toro's big. He's my assistant director and he's pretty big. Hence why I'm giving him a piece of royalties. You're not as big as him, Barry Osborne. And Fran is Peter's wife. So the money Peter's making is pretty much her money. I'm not going to pay her any more than $70,000 as an assistant producer. That's a good paycheck for them. Pay Barry Osborne and Fran a $150,000 bonus for pre-production. That's a good paycheck for them. They'll help. They're only going to help the 17 with business calls the first year, and the second year halfway I'll have them flown to Switzerland. They're going to oversee some of the business as well as the third year. Pay them $150K the what? The first year, and you can pay them $100K the second year to oversee the business. And you pay them $300K the third year and $300K the fourth year to help out the 17 handle all the. That's a good paycheck. As Barry Osborne probably only made $250K for Lord of the Rings, because assistant producers don't make much money in Hollywood. Sometimes, I mean that's a good deal. Yeah, and you also get the perks too, and you get your $2,000 gift card, and you get your what, and you get your $300 gas card. It's a good deal, and you get your 3 beers, your buffet, and Barry Osborne and all of them are going to be a part of my parties and my condo, my yacht the first year. I gave them a good deal. And Fran is Peter's wife. So the money Peter's making is pretty much her money, right? Yeah. Show my time here.